the best town in Ohio, USA.
At first they called it Cincy, but since Cincy is so natty, they named it Cincinnati, so they say.
Hey, now the girls are pretty, pretty in this pretty little city.
The fellas are the feistiest I've seen.
And when it comes to ball teams, the Reds and the Bengals malty.
They knock the socks off all these on the green.
I mean, true, argues indefensible, the facts are common sensible. Cincy is invincible. Yeah, know what I mean.
Cincy's more than nearly natty.
She's Ohio's Maserati. Cincinnati's at the center of the scene.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special podcast. This is the podcast where we watch all your old favorite television shows and then discuss them over a glass of wine, or an adult beverage, or cranberry tea. I'm Patrick M. Dunn. You might remember me from the previous 34-ish episodes or so. And I'm joined here, as always, by Kat Halstead.
Hello.
You made it.
What up?
She's live from Colorado.
Yes, it is a beautiful sunny day.
Yes, it's a beautiful winter sunny day. Are we in winter yet?
It's like a foot tomorrow.
It's going to snow a foot tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's going to be like 60 degrees here, so I am living the dream. It's like summer, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. So, as I said, I'm Patrick M. Dunn. You can find me on Twitter at Patrick M. Dunn. And where can we find you, Kat?
You can find me on Twitter at CatCVS, also on Instagram, Periscope, yada, yada, yada.
Did you just yada, yada, yada Tumblr?
Yeah, I did. You can also find me at cathalstead.com.
And you're an author. You sell books.
Yes, I
you
am.
write books. Do you have any Christmas-themed books out there? I don't think I even know.
I do? Yes, I do. It's called Silent Night.
So is it like a romantic novel, or is it like horror-themed?
Yes, it is a romantic novel. There's no ghosts. There's no Ouija boards.
So it's just about a young couple finding love around Christmas time?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds very, very fun. Where can we get this book? Amazon.com? Your website?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, same place as all the other books.
Yeah, so definitely peep her shit. She will appreciate that. And I didn't mean to call it shit, I mean stuff.
Thanks.
And we have a homepage for the podcast. It's a very special podcast.tumblr.com. You can find all of our episodes there and our weird recipes for sangrias and stuff.
Yeah, and then our weird commentary and lists and stuff that we've come up with about TV shows and movies.
Yeah, because there's a million things out there to watch. We can't get to all of them on the podcast, so we kind of divvy up on things. We each watch something, we write about it, short little write-up. So we've been doing it for the last couple of weeks, and it seems exciting. So definitely check it out. We have a Twitter. It's very podcast because everything else was taken.
Mm-hmm.
And we're now on the Instagram. We're at a very special podcast on there, so definitely follow us. We post pictures of the shows we watch, sometimes little short clips.
Yeah.
So check all our stuff out. We have a store.
All the links to everything are on a very special podcast.tumblr.com.
Yes. Didn't we decide recently that we're going to try to pimp the store more, too?
Oh, yeah, store.
So you can buy, we have t-shirts.
T-shirts and glasses and stuff. I have some new designs that should be up by the time this episode is posted.
Yes, and I was going to work on a Herman Munster shirt, and I'm just trying to think of something funny to go along with it. So definitely go to our website at veryspecialpodcast.tumblr.com. Hopefully we have a real URL in the future, but we've been saying that for a year. But someday we'll work up to it. And you can listen to all our episodes on iTunes and YouTube. We're on there somewhere. I believe it's just search for a very special podcast, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's all you have to do, and you'll find all our episodes. They get uploaded a little slower.
Yeah, we're a little
but they
behind.
eventually all make it.
It's okay, because we're kind of like a slow burn for podcasts. Our new ones don't catch on, but for some reason, months later, they're it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
And So, we're in Christmas season now, huh?
Yes, it is finally the Christmas season. I thought it was never going to come.
No, but it's here. Like, last year we did a whole bevy of holiday-themed episodes. We did the Brady Bunch Christmas reunion movie, A Very Brady Christmas.
Yes,
we did
we did.
Home Improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember what else we did, to be honest with you. Oh, we did a He-Man and She-Ra, but it never made it to air.
Yeah, the file got corrupted or something.
Thank God, because we were annihilated. Like, if you listen to the Burbs episode, it was like 11 times worse than that.
Yeah, we were pretty toasted.
Was I doing Skeletor voices? I can't even remember.
I don't even know. I think you were doing the Michael Jackson voice.
I brought it back for some reason.
Yeah.
I contemplated saying maybe we should redo He-Man and She-Ra from like a new perspective, but I was like, I don't think I can watch that again though.
Yeah, I need to, like, put some space between that and us.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't even that long of a movie. It was only like 40 minutes long, but it felt like hours.
It really just, like, dragged on, and we were like, what is going on?
But
But it's in the past, so let's move forward.
I did find another podcast called We Hate Movies, and they did the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special, and they basically said everything that we said. So just find that if you just want to know what we originally said.
And just pretend it was us that said it.
Yeah, and we were just really drunk in there. I think like I think things got violent and dirty. I don't even know what happened, but
I don't remember.
Well, because sometimes I just go back and listen to like the podcasts where I'm not even that drunk, and I'm just like, I don't even remember saying that. Like for example, in the Friends episode, I don't remember we went on this like 10-minute tirade against like not having children.
Wow.
It's our pre-banter before we get into the show. We just get into this weird pre-banter, which I think kind of makes the podcast. It separates us from others.
Yeah, it really does.
So, yeah. So, in case you didn't read the description, this week we decided to watch the 1986 NBC TV movie Babes in Toyland, which I guess is based on a musical and a Disney movie of the same name.
Yes, there's an operetta that is the original Babes in Toyland from like 1903.
Yeah, and it's very.
Laurel and Hardy did a version, and then Disney did a version starring Annette Funicello, which is like the classic Babes in Toyland that most people think of when they think of Babes in Toyland.
Yeah, Disney kind of like owned it, and they kind of made it like to what we think of Babes in Toyland. Mm-hmm. And it's very Wizard of Oz-esque.
Yes, it is Wizard of Oz-esque.
And I don't know, for some reason though, NBC decided they wanted to make their own version. It obviously must have been a TV movie. It was released in December of 1986. And I definitely saw this a lot as a child. And in my memory, it seemed like it was a lot better. For some reason, it just seemed fun and exciting. And like, I thought it was more like Goonies and Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal-like. Like, I just remember it was like an adventure. But when I rewatched this earlier today, I was like, no, this is not what I remembered.
Yeah, well, you have the childhood rose-colored glasses on over it.
That is true. And you don't, like, when you're young, you don't, like, realize how stupid the costumes are and how stupid the acting is. And now the people that, there's a lot of people in this movie that are well-known names now.
Yeah.
And you just can't believe that they subjected themselves to this.
Well, there were some that were, I think they were well-known names when they did the movie.
Oh, definitely a few of them, yeah.
Why were they so desperate for work that they did this movie?
Well, I mean, NBC probably was a powerhouse back in 1986, and they probably paid decent cash.
They probably were. I mean, back in 1986, you had really still just the three basic networks.
Yeah, and just to
Cable
get yourself...
wasn't like cable.
Yeah, and just to get yourself on like a TV movie was probably like a huge deal back then. Like, even if it was like shitty budget. So... Before we get into the movie, we'll just let you know the cast of Babes in Toyland. All right, so in the lead role is Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
She, I guess...
Young Drew Barrymore.
She's like 11 years old at this time, maybe, give or take.
Yes, she is. I did the math. She was 11.
All right, so this is where I know that Drew Barrymore kind of has a checkered past, very questionable. She was born into basically being an actress. She was in movies at a very young age, like E.T., Altered States, Firestarter, the Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
And she kind of like dabbled in drugs at a very young age. So I'm trying to think of it like when she was 11. Is this before drugs, during drugs, or after drugs?
Okay, so she started going to Studio 54 when she was young, before she was 11. When she was 11 is when she, in her autobiography that she wrote years ago, says that she started drinking. So I have come to the conclusion that this movie is what started Drew Barrymore drinking.
I would totally agree with that. Only because this movie is just so fucked up. Her action seems kind of off in like places. Like some parts, like it seems like she's totally into it, and other times it's like she's not even trying.
Yeah.
So like maybe she like maybe it
Never
took
Been Kissed.
the movie Never Been Kissed.
Never Been Kissed.
Yes.
Okay, you know, like her high school, like cast. Who she was in high. That's who she reminded me of. She reminded me of Josie originally in high school, like the geeky, nerdy, like awkward.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Now I didn't think of it as I was watching it, but like in hindsight, yes, I agree with you.
I think the denim like dress T-shirt combo is something she also wears in Never Been Kissed. I have to like find a copy and find out because that was bugging me. I was like, this outfit seems so familiar on Drew, but why? And I'm like, I think she wore something like this and Never Been Kissed.
And she probably wears, like, it seems like something she would wear in real life, too.
Yeah, probably.
And so, alright, so the movie also stars Keanu Reeves. Like, pre-Bill and Ted, Keanu Reeves.
Pre-Bill and Ted, pre-Speed, pre-Matrix.
Pre-Point Break. Pre-everything, basically.
This is, I think, one of his first roles.
And he has like a baby face. He has no stubble, but he still has that like that kind of like Southern California vibe going on.
Yeah, and he's got that great hair.
He does have great hair in this movie. Like I always watch this movie, I was like, you know, I wish I had Keanu Reeves' 1986 hair.
I was like, God, he has good hair.
And like he looks so full of life here. Like now he seems kind of like dreary and dark and depressed.
Yeah.
And, alright, so there's even more names in this movie. We got Richard Mulligan, who is famous from, I believe it's Empty Nest and Soap.
Yes. Well, at this point, he would have been famous from Soap.
This is pre-Empty Nest.
Yeah, this is pre-Empty Nest.
And he plays the villain in the movie. And he does I actually think he does like a really good job. Like, he actually seems like he tries.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think that Richard Mulligan and Keanu Reeves were having ton of fun with their roles.
See, I didn't get that same vibe from Keanu Reeves. Like, I just thought it was like he was just like it seemed like his first acting gig, and he's just trying to figure out the game.
Well, I think like he took it seriously, but he had fun with the role of Jack.
So, the only reason that you liked Keanu Reeves in this movie was because you were blinded by his handsomeness. I have to be right.
Probably. Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves.
Because he had such a, like, that Southern California vibe going on.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But we should definitely get down.
He's supposed to be from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati? He's supposed to be from Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
Alright, so before we announce the next, like, star of this movie, they're all from Cincinnati, Ohio, and they have a song about Cincinnati, Ohio, which it was just the most ridiculous song in the world. And the song actually saves them from turning into trolls, which is even greater.
Okay, that part, I have so many issues with that song.
But,
So many issues.
before we get to the song, though, Pat Morita is in this.
Yes, he is.
He plays-
He's a special guest star.
He plays the Toy Master. He's supposed to be kind of like the most like amazing like entity in the world, and I just don't understand like what's so great about him.
I kind of didn't get it either. Like the whole thing was just a little weird.
He was not helpful to anyone at all. Like he was very vague.
No, he wasn't.
Plus, he had in his closet like a weird kind of like a bottle that had evil in it, and apparently all that has.
Why do you need a bottle of evil?
And all you have to do is just take off the cork, and all the evil that he trapped will be released.
Yeah, like hello. How is that a good idea?
And was the actress who played Mary? Is she famous from anything? I didn't. She kind of has like a weird like Winnie Cooper look, but it's definitely not Winnie Cooper.
Her name? Like I looked her up on IMDb. I looked her and the guy who played Porgy up on IMDb. Like they've done stuff, but they're not big names like Drew or Keanu or Pat Morita
or Richard Mulligan.
So. Or right. Richard Mulligan, yeah.
All right, so who plays the actress Jill Skolin plays Mary. Yeah. She was engaged to Brad Pitt for 3 months in 1989. Fun fact.
Oh, wow.
So Brad Pitt is just a fucking heartbreaker.
He is. Hello, yeah. Just ask Jennifer Aniston.
Yep. Former podcast, I was going to say guest, but topic is maybe the word. Topic. All right, so...
we had Jennifer Aniston as a guest, I would be dead right now. From like list of getting to talk to Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, I'd be asking like a million questions about Courtney Cox. I'm like, do you like Cougar Town? What do you think of Scream 4? Like, how shitty is David Arquette?
Do you really only drink Smart Water?
I don't think I get that question.
He's like the spokesperson for Smart Water and
David Arquette?
Aveeno products. So.
Okay. So should we get into the movie Babes in Toyland, 1986 TV movie?
Let's just get into this thing.
Yeah. All right. So I guess where you can find it. So it's on YouTube in its full entirety, like a weird, shitty version of it.
Well, the full version that exists now.
Okay, yeah, because I guess they cut out, there's some deleted scenes, there's deleted musical numbers that were removed from it.
There is about 50 minutes cut out of this movie.
50 or 15?
50.
50?
50.
Okay. All right, yeah, because the movie is also available on iTunes. You can rent it for $3, and that's actually how I watched it. And it told
really?
Yeah, it told me the movie was 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it was only like an hour and a half. So
weird.
There definitely is a lot cut out. So whatever version that is on iTunes is the same one that's on YouTube. But I was having problems with YouTube, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just pay the $3 on because I had an iTunes gift card, and I'll just get it from there."
Mm-hmm.
So you can definitely watch this masterpiece. So the movie basically opens up in Cincinnati.
Yes. On a snowy, blizzardy Christmas Eve.
So it's Christmas Eve, and apparently there's like this devastating blizzard. But I mean, there's only like an inch of snow on the ground, though.
Yeah. It doesn't seem so bad yet.
No.
But it's kind of snowing heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely like snowy and windy. It's late, and Lisa, who is played by Drew Barrymore, she's the 11-year-old girl, and she seems like she's kind of like the surrogate mom. So she takes care of all her kids, she cooks for the family, all that jazz.
Can I be honest, that confused me as to why she was the surrogate mom when she has an older sister.
Yeah, well, we kind of learn later on in the movie that she's a surrogate mom. They very subtly allude to this in the beginning of the movie, but you really wouldn't catch on to it.
I feel like this had to have been something that got deleted.
It's possible because the movie basically starts with Drew Barrymore is just kind of like she's watching the news, and her older sister Mary is getting ready for her job at the toy store. And she's putting on a pink rain jacket to go out in the snow.
Yeah.
Not like this, like...
Well, she's got heavy stuff on, and then she puts the rain jacket on over it.
Okay, and then we assume that the toy store is close by because she walks there.
Yeah.
So, she walks there. The second she leaves the house, Lisa's mom calls, and she's out with their younger sibling, and I guess they're going out for dinner or something, or they were like Christmas shopping, last minute Christmas shopping.
She's like doing the last minute errands and stuff, and the kid is hungry, so she's got to get the snow chains put on the tires, and get the kid something to eat.
Yeah, and so
like
then,
why you would take the little kid with you? She probably needed to take him somewhere.
Yeah, maybe he had like a doctor's appointment or something. He was like a really young child, though. He was like 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly. So then, Drew Barrymore was like, okay, so she sits back down on the couch, and then she gets like this breaking news story that within the next hour in the Cincinnati area, this like Canadian storm is going to come down. It's going to be like horrible. There's like going to be no visibility. There's going to be like a foot of snow. It's going to be fucking insane. So she's like, oh shit. Then this is like like cell phone era, so it's not like you can just like call your mom at wherever she was, or like she doesn't get like an alert.
There's no cell phones. There's no cable. It's just because she's watching TV on an antenna.
Yeah, and then like it got so windy that the antenna fell off the house, and she lost all contact with the TV. Then a fucking telephone pole across the street falls down.
Yeah.
Which
it's like the worst. Like you have no clue what's going on at this point. There's no television. There's no telephone.
But you would think that if the telephone pole fell down, that her power would go out?
Yeah, I thought it would take the power out, because aren't they the same, like, both on the same pole?
I'm, like, 99% sure, because there's definitely not a telephone pole and an electric pole. They're all kind of together, and we call it a telephone pole.
I'm looking around, because I'm outside right now, and I'm like, oh, wait, we buried that stuff here.
But all her
in the ground.
All her power stayed on, except her phone went dead. So she's like, fuck. So she was like, I gotta go get my sister Mary, because she's working like a double at the toy store, because it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
She basically runs down there, and like as I said, it can't be that far, because she like ran there, and like didn't freeze
it's not that far.
No.
And can I just say that Mary probably has like the easiest job at that toy store that night?
Oh, yeah, she just was ringing in guests, basically.
Like, she was just basically, like, if they were returning something because it didn't work, she was the one who dealt with that.
She was customer service, right?
Yeah, and so she's just sitting there reading a magazine.
Oh, yeah, because people were like, there was a few people who had problems with teddy bears. The teddy bears weren't good, so she recommended another gift.
Yeah.
But she really was just chilling while, like, everyone else in the store, like if you looked in the background, it was mayhem.
Yeah, it's mayhem. It was ridiculous.
Like, it looked like...
And if you've ever worked retail on a Christmas Eve, that's exactly how it is.
It looked like Black Friday / Christmas Eve in the background. Like, there was, like, people killing each other for, like, sleds and, like, Game Boys and stuff. Like, it was mayhem. But they obviously couldn't get licensed.
Not even Game Boys, because it's 1986.
NES's? Atari? I don't know.
Not even. Maybe an Atari, yeah.
But this toy store was funny
maybe
because...
like a first-gen Sega.
They definitely... The toys they showed, they definitely didn't get, like, a license to show, like, legitimate toys of this time frame. So all they had was, like, teddy bears, giant, like, bouncy balls, a sled.
Yeah,
I saw a sled.
The lame stuff that no kid really wants.
Yeah, like, there was no He-Man, there was no Star Wars.
Nobody knows what to get these kids.
Yeah, there was nothing, like... There was no action figures or Barbies. It was all just, like, homemade toys in the background.
Yeah, there was no He-Man, no She-Ra, no G.I. Joes, no Barbies, no Gem. There was nothing like that.
Nothing. It was gigantic, like, teddy bears and, like, wooden soldiers, like, just things no one ever buy. So Mary's working in the customer service booth. She is literally just reading a magazine. Drew Barrymore runs up and she's like, Mary, we need to go home, like, right now. The news said in an hour the storm is going to come. It's going to decimate Cincinnati. And she's like, oh, but I just can't
Probably going to take out Pete Rose because, you know.
Pete Rose is, like, the only celebrity of Cincinnati, apparently, at this point in time.
Apparently. And they keep mentioning him.
I believe he gets mentioned, like, 4 times in this movie.
Yeah, it was really awkward.
So then they were kind of like trying to figure out who's going to tell Barney, who's played by Richard Mulligan. He owns the toy store. He's kind of evil.
Like, he's that creepy older boss that hits on the young employees.
Yeah, he's into profits, like money profits and young girls. So he he basically is just kind of like, Mary, you're a very sexy girl. I appreciate you working my customer service booth, but you need to do your job or you might get fired. And she's kind of like, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm out of here. Like, peace. And Keanu Reeves is kind of like, Keanu Reeves does not care about a job. He's like a stoner dude.
Yeah.
He probably had beer in his Jeep.
Like, he works there, and he does it because he needs the money, but he's like, if I could find a better job, I'd have one.
Yeah, he can work at, like, the pizza place down the street. Probably fucking spin some pie.
Yeah, where he ends up working.
Yeah. So, for some reason, Mary and Drew Barrymore decide not to walk home. They decide to get into Keanu Reeves' Jeep. And this is like an old...
It has four-wheel drive.
It has four-wheel drive. There's only like an inch of snow on the ground. Let's mention
And they've got the sled, because Mary gives her the sled.
Yeah, so they're driving back. Now, these are like the old Jeeps where the back wasn't like a hard back. It was basically just like a fabric, like a piece of fabric.
Yeah, it's the fabric.
So they hit a bump. Well, actually, all right, so first they break into a song about Cincinnati, which I'll probably open up the podcast with, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they start this song, and at this point, this is where I realized the movie was a musical. Like, for some reason, I did not think this was a musical.
But they went
I don't know
full-blown
why
musical.
I didn't think it was a musical, but I didn't realize it until this song started.
When you told me it was a musical, I got really nervous. I was like, fuck, this is a musical?
Yeah.
So then, all right, so now they keep hitting bumps in little, like, slushy parts.
I want to find out that you're the one who picked it.
Yeah, I know. As I said, in my memory, I thought this was, like, a lot cooler. Like, I thought that we were getting, like, a wild 80s adventure, like, in the vein of The Goonies, or Labyrinth, or The Dark Crystal, or even, like, Monster Squad. That's what I was imagining, and then it turned out to be this, and I was like, fuck, this is not what I remembered.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Jeep, I guess a tree falls down in front of the Jeep? Like a pine tree?
Like a tree branch falls or something, and Jack tries to swerve, and then Lisa goes flying out the back.
All right, so Jack is Keanu Reeves, and Lisa is Drew Barrymore. Let's just get that out of the way, because I keep forgetting. Yeah. I keep forgetting the characters' names, but I know the actors' names.
Mm-hmm.
So Lisa falls out the back, but she's sitting on the sled, I guess, in the back of the Jeep.
She's on the sled, and then she starts flying through the air, and suddenly the sky is clear blue.
And she hits a tree.
Sunny.
She smashes into a tree.
Oh, she smashes into a tree? I missed that part.
Oh, yeah. Like, right before she goes into the clear blue sky, she smashes into a tree. You get, like, a weird CGI effect. Like, a CGI,
mm-hmm.
like the old, like, computer, and, like something they would do in, like, Small Wonder. And then, all of a sudden, she's, like, gently floating through the sky on a sled. And I guess she's hovering over Toyland.
Yeah, she's, like, coming in for a landing over Toyland. And she's looking around, she sees, like, the sketchiest group of toys possible.
Basically, it's adults in, like, weird costumes. Like,
amusement park costumes.
Yes.
That's what it is. They're, like, those weird like, that creepy amusement park that's not, like, a name amusement park, and you're just kind of like, we should not have spent our family time here this weekend. That's what Toyland reminds me of.
Yeah, it's definitely very, like, low budget amusement park-esque. So Drew Barrymore is, like, hovering down on a sled, and she lands gently on a gigantic wedding cake.
Yeah, this huge wedding cake, and she lands in it.
And, like, nobody is upset, though, because we come to find out that the wedding cake is for Mary, quite contrary, and Barnaby Barnacle.
Yes.
Now, we'll learn in a moment that all these characters are going to be played by people from Drew Barrymore's real life. So, Mary, quite contrary, is played by her sister. Mm-hmm. Barnaby Barnacle is played by Richard Mulligan, who played Barney at the toy store. And Jack B. Nimble is played by Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm. And you can't forget Georgie Porgy.
And Georgie Porgy, yes, he was like a little, like, a hefty, roundish, like, Mr. Robotnik kind of guy. He's played by Keanu Reeves' friend at the store. The actor, I don't even know who he is.
His name is Gooey Gress.
and he's never heard from again. Like, he may have been in a Charleston Charge episode, but we don't know. We're just kind of making that up. All right,
So yeah, she lands the cake. Nobody's upset because nobody thinks that Barnaby Barnacle deserves the wedding cake.
And everything's made out of, like, wood here, too. Like, there's, like... It's weird. It's weird costumes, weird, like, structures. Like, nothing looks real.
Yeah. It looks like a sketchy amusement park.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's like cardboard stand-ups, basically. I said wood, but I really meant cardboard.
Yeah, it's just like... The colors are odd choices to me.
I mean, I guess for a TV movie of the mid-'80s, it was okay. So, we learned that Mary Quite Contrary is going to get married. The villain lives in a gigantic bowling ball that's, like, just outside of town.
Yeah, it's, like, just on the edge of town.
And then, surrounding the town is, like, the forest of evil or something like that. Like, you're not allowed to leave the town or else you will die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you ever seen the M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Village?
Yes, that's what it is.
I was getting those vibes, and I was like, I bet you they'll leave the town, and then, like, it turns out that they're really, like, it's really just, like, an amusement park somewhere, and these people don't know.
That would have been hilarious.
That's what I was, like, hoping for. I was like, you know what? I bet you Drew Barrymore just, like, sledded into some, like, weird amusement park that she never knew about. And all these people, like, legitimately think all this stuff is real, but she's really just, like in a weird, like, woods town, like, outside her, like, town. Like, outside Cincinnati.
See, that would be an interesting movie.
It would be. Maybe we'll have to do it, like, remake that and have that effect on it.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody steal this idea from us. All right, so... Drew Barrymore basically stops the wedding because she learns from Georgie Porgy that Barnaby Barnacle and Mary Contrary do not belong together. Mary Contrary really belongs with Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
And she basically stops the wedding. And then...
Yeah, she just stops the wedding, and they listen to this random stranger.
And she basically learns that Barnaby plans to take over Toyland.
Yeah.
So now, like, this is, like, now they go on this, like, weird adventure just to, like, save the Toyland. And, like, Lisa kind of becomes, like, she's basically, like, their Superman, or their Neo from the Matrix. Like, she was sent in to, like, save the town from this.
Yeah.
And, alright, so, some weird things that are in this movie. So they have these, like, weird kind of go-karts.
Yeah.
And...
That are the cars when you have a driver's license.
Is it cookie?
Yeah, it's a cookie. It's like a gingerbread cookie.
Yep. So the boys drive the
Mary
blue.
just like hands Lisa one is like, okay, you need a driver's license. You can reach the pedals. You're good to go.
All right. So the boy cars are blue and the girl cars are pink, and they're basically.
Porgy's purple.
Is his purple? Is he special?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So like, but they're just like go karts, but they put like a weird cardboard around them. Like it's not even like. They really tried to make it look like a fancy kind of car. So it just looks really bad. And they put these, like, this weird, like, bubbly sound effects whenever they drive it. Mm-hmm. It's almost kind of like, you know in the Jetsons, like that noise, like when they fly.
Yes.
Like, it's almost like that, but it's, like, more bubbly. It's like, I can't describe it. But they use those cars, like, everywhere they go. Mm-hmm. But it just seems like they're always, like, a block away from where they need to go.
Yeah, I don't think Toyland is really that big, can we be honest?
No, but they in the background you see a bunch of those cars though. And like no matter where they are, those cars are always there. And then if there's like a new character that joined up with them, there's always an extra car for them.
Yeah, there's always just like that extra car.
And you don't need keys, you just hop in and just go.
Yeah, there's no keys. As long as you can reach the pedals, you're good to go.
Imagine if, like, the real world was like that. You just hopped in a car and just went. Like, you just like, oh, random car, let's go.
That'd be awesome.
All right, so then, like, now we kind of go into the bowling ball, so now we meet the villains.
Yes, we meet Barnaby and his creepy henchman and his trollop.
So here's a guy.
What is it called?
I believe it's a trollog.
Yeah, all I could think of is Trollop.
And he kind of looks like, I think you told me he kind of looks like Alf, but with one giant eye.
Yeah, it's like they took an extra Alf costume that they had and
modified the nose.
Tossed on some feathers and modified the mask to make this, like, one-eyed bird thing.
And
it was so weird. Like, the whole thing reminded me of Alf. I don't know why.
And I guess he's kind of, like, he can see what's happening anywhere in the world, apparently.
Yeah, he's like a, fortune teller's magic ball.
So,
crystal ball.
When Barnaby's like, I want to know what Drew Barrymore's up to, he just asks the troll, like, and then you just see, like, exactly what Drew Barrymore, Keanu Reeves, and friends are
playing. He's calling her Cincy Watsky.
Oh, yeah, because she says she's
he
Lisa.
He cannot pronounce Cincinnati.
She says she's Lisa from Cincinnati, and he's like, Cinca Watsky? So that's what he just calls her for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And I guess the toy master, Pat Morita, is like the only one who has like ever heard of Cincinnati, because he asks her about Pete Rose.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is before the whole Pete Rose gambling scandal.
Yeah, like Pete Rose is like, we don't like him anymore, right? Like, didn't he admit to steroids? He gambled.
There was definitely a gambling thing.
All right, hold on.
I honestly don't remember the details.
I'm on his Wikipedia page right now. Permanent ineligibility is a section. All right, so I'm just reading. Yeah, he placed bets on baseball games in the late 80s, 1989. There was an investigation. There was a response. There was an aftermath. There was reinstatement efforts. Then, in the early 90s, he was involved in tax evasion. He got Hall of Fame eligibility in 1991. Then, in the early 2000s, he came out with his autobiography, which is kind of like told all this. So yeah, I guess he's kind of like he's the villain of the story, if you really want to get down to it.
Yeah, at this point. So they're just like so thrilled about Pete Rose, and I'm like, this is so weird to hear in 2015. But could you imagine if like Tom Brady got this kind of punishment from the NFL?
Well, he kind of almost did.
He almost did, but yeah.
He escaped. Maybe we'll get like a tell-all book in like 20 years, and he'll reveal.
He'll finally admit to all the sketchy things he did.
He'll reveal that he's a monster, and then like next year they'll make a Babes in Toyland remake, and Tom Brady will be the cool.
He'll be from Boston, and everybody will be like, Tom Brady.
Yeah. Hey, have we mentioned? Do we know why they call us Babes in Toyland?
We do not. I believe that Babes was like a term for children. I don't know. Okay, because I thought the character's name might have been Babes, like Drew Barrymore. Her name is Babes, but then they introduced her very quickly as Lisa. So I was like, "Fuck!" So I kept waiting to like meet Babes. Yeah, then, I think it's supposed to mean children. I really don't know. I tried to like Google an answer. I got nothing.
And then, like, I thought maybe like in the original versions of Babes in Toyland, maybe like that was a character's name, but no. Like, I just don't know why they call it this. And then I'm like, I'm lost. So if anyone out there knows this, tweet us.
At Very Podcast.
Yes. Or we have an email account too. We forgot to pimp that earlier.
A Very Special Podcast at gmail.com.
Send us your thoughts on Babes in Toyland, why it's called that, and ask us questions and we'll answer them in a special mailbag episode. You can ask us any questions about our lives, about TV, about anything. We'll answer them.
Yeah, we will answer them.
Any question, I will, like, it's like truth or dare. It's we'll do like a truth or dare episode.
Okay. So send us some truths, send us some dares.
And we'll do it. Alright, so, Barnaby's a villain. He lives in a bowling ball. Mm-hmm. He has power over these weird trolls that live in, like, the evil forest.
Yeah.
And we very quickly learned the Toy Master has a flask that just contains evil of like the whole Toyland or anything, like the whole universe. Basically, he's been collecting evil.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a big bottle. It's kind of a small bottle.
But I guess evil is just an essence?
I guess so. I mean, if you think about it, when he does later release the evil, there is quite a bit of it.
There is a lot of it, but I don't know if it, like, maybe it wears down over time. I'm not sure. Like, they didn't really get into, like...
I really don't know.
Yeah, like, they didn't spend a lot of time...
I'm not exactly sure how you bottle... Oh.
Like, it's not like they're gonna take the bottle top off and, like, the world ends. So we literally have no idea what's gonna happen, but... Yeah. Barnaby Barnacle wants this for some reason.
Because he wants everybody to be evil because they're easier to control. Duh.
So, I don't know. Drew Barrymore is kind of like... She's the savior. As I said, she's kind of like the Superman. So she starts, like, using her mind to kind of, like, plot things out.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like, you know what? We need to find a way to, like, I guess, capture Barnaby. I don't know, like, what is... I don't even understand their plot. It just seems like they're just...
Well, first, this is you're missing the part where Barnaby steals all the cookies from the cookie factory.
Okay, I knew there was something weird going on.
Jack arrested.
All right, so Jack works at the cookie factory. Barnaby is actually Jack's uncle, right?
Barnaby is his uncle. It used to be his father's. Jack doesn't get control of the cookie factory unless he's married by his 21st birthday, which is in a week.
And so Barnaby decides that if he marries...
Why don't Jack and Mary just go get married?
I believe it's, like, briefly mentioned, because Drew Barrymore was like, why don't they elope? But there's nowhere for them to elope to.
Oh, yeah, there's nowhere to elope to.
Which doesn't make sense. Why didn't they just get married?
Just because of peace and just get married already.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there are definitely a lot of plot holes here.
Like, they want to get married.
But Barnaby needs to, like, get rid of Jack, or Keanu Reeves. And so he decides that he's going to hide all the cookies, like, in a trap door that's underneath the cookie factory.
Yeah, and all the trolls are going to eat them. All the trolls
eat the cookies, and then Barnaby blames Jack on stealing the cookies, but I guess he didn't have an alibi, so he gets arrested.
Yeah.
And
the teddy bears arrest him.
The teddy bears arrest him. It's the least threatening arrest you'll ever see in your life, too.
And Keanu Reeves is, like, shaking against the bars and the thing. It's hilarious.
Keanu Reeves is kind of muscular. He probably could have fought his way out and, like, killed everybody in the village. He
probably could have just broken those things because they did not look that strong.
Yeah, it literally looked like cardboard, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because he was, like, shaking the bars, and it looked like it was, like, opening and closing. It's basically.
Yeah.
But they carted him off to jail, which I guess is like an underground lair, like under the city.
No. You're getting ahead of yourself. He gets carted off to actual jail.
All right, so he goes to regular jail.
Like Toyland. And they decide to break him out of jail. And that's where Lisa tells the Justice of the Peace all about Cincinnati and Pete Rose, and he's like, I would love to visit your planet one day.
Oh, you know what? I fell asleep for a few minutes, so this is probably where this happened.
You missed it. There is supposed to be, according to Wikipedia, there's supposed to be like a whole song during the jailbreak, but we don't see it.
Thankfully.
Georgie Porgy takes the keys, because they're just hanging up, just like on an old Western or Andy Griffith show or something, and he breaks Jack out, and they all run off to see the Toy Master.
Yeah, I definitely missed this part. I think I fell asleep for a few minutes, so I just missed this whole... I can just picture, like, there's, like, a nail on the wall with, like, the keys dangling from it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so then... This is when they go see the Toy Master, and he mentions Pete Rose, and he tells Lisa about his pride and joy toy soldiers, which, can we be honest, are the creepiest things I have ever seen in my life.
Well, they're basically like giant nutcrackers is basically what they are. Except they have shotguns. Yeah. Like, they have rifles.
Yeah, they're like, you can make a toy soldier, but these just look creepy.
I'm trying to think of, like, something horrifying that, like, All right, Chucky from Child's Play. Which is more creepier, Chucky or those toy soldiers?
The toy soldiers.
Okay, because like Chucky's kind of funny at times.
Yeah.
These toy soldiers have like no character to them. They just move weird.
Yeah, they move weird, and these are guys like they're masks on these guys, and you'll see it later. It's just really bad and cheesy.
Do you know what I was wondering? Did they have eye holes? Because I did not see any eye holes on those masks.
I don't know.
And I was like, how do they move like in perfect unison?
Actual necks and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, this movie makes no sense. So, all right, so something happens at the Toy Master's lair.
That's when Barnaby shows up. Wait, is it?
I don't know.
No, this is when Barnaby finds out about the evil bottle.
Oh, because the Toy Master's like, I have a
excited.
secret to tell everybody.
Yeah. And then Jack and everybody go back to the cookie factory to try and find evidence of how Barnaby got the cookies out. And that's when Jack falls into Barnaby's lair.
And it's like the trap door. It's like on the... It's basically
the trap door.
And it's so noticeable, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's a floor... And then, like, the floor, like, you could tell there's, like a hatch there, and he stands on the hatch.
Yeah, it's like a basement door or something.
And the rest of the characters are shocked when they find it, too. They're all like,
yeah, they're like, oh my goodness. And then we cut to this weird scene at Mary's house, and her mother is old Mrs. Hubbard.
Who... Is her mother Mrs. Hubbard or the old lady in the shoe?
It's Mrs. Hubbard. They bought the house from the old lady who lived in a shoe because
Okay,
she
that was
needed
it.
bigger place.
Okay.
But there's still a ton of kids. I don't understand. Like, I looked up old Mrs. Mother Hubbard, and it doesn't jive.
Do you know what really confused me is, alright, so, like, it was Toyland, but why was it all, like, Mother Goose characters?
Yeah. It was weird. I guess they're connected somehow that we don't understand because we're jaded kids of the 80s.
Yeah, we just believed everything that happened.
Yeah, we totally believed Hema and She-Ra are on different planets.
Yep. Eternia and Etheria, maybe?
So, yes, that's what it was. Lisa answers the door when Barnaby shows up, and he's got flowers for Mary. But Lisa has this weird, like, idea that instead of Mary marrying Barnaby, she's going to get old Mrs. Hubbard to marry Barnaby. So she keeps, like, convincing Mrs. Hubbard that Barnaby likes her.
And it's weird because this plot is never really mentioned again, or it's not gone
Yeah,
forward.
like, this is the last time you see it. There's, like, there's no follow-up with it.
Like, it seemed like it was, like, an important, like, plot point.
It's probably in those missing 50 minutes.
Could be.
Like, I'm really curious what those missing 50 minutes are.
It's like the Nixon tapes or whatever.
Exactly. And then Georgie Porgy shows up and tells Lisa and Mary that Jack is gone. So, and they've searched everywhere, but the only place they haven't searched is, of course, the bowling ball. So they go, and Mary falls down a hatch in the bowling ball that lands her in the exact same cell as Jack.
Well, I guess at first Drew Barrymore was like, no, let me go investigate the bowling ball. But Mary's like, I want to do it because this is all my fault. So she goes into the bowling ball, she falls in the same cell. Like the same cell. And Barnaby's like excited.
Yeah, Barnaby's like, oh yeah.
So now, like the rest of the characters, they were like...
Lisa and Georgie Porgy go see the Toy Master again. Like, how's this guy supposed to get any toys made if these people keep showing up and bothering him?
Yeah, and I don't know why they keep going to the Toy Master, because he doesn't seem like he has, like, any information at all.
Yeah, he's got, like, nothing for them. And, like, all these toys he's making, I'm sorry, kids in 1986 did not want to play with.
He basically was making, like, Ball in a Cup, or, like, a weird, like, just weird, dumb toys that, like, your, like, unfavorite uncle brought you.
Yeah, it's like the weird stuff the the uncle who doesn't really know what to get for a kid picks up because somebody says this is what you should get them.
To relate to a modern day audience, it'd be if your uncle that you barely know went to the family dollar store and just bought a shitty ass toy that cost him $1 and brought it to you. That's basically the kind of toys the Toy Master makes. But they go to him like he's like the answer to everything, and he knows nothing. Like he's just like, you need to go into the woods.
And that's when Barnaby shows up with his like henchmen and the trollop and ties them up and steals the bottle, and then somehow the trollop accidentally lets them out.
Well, no, alright, so Drew Barrymore's idea of escaping, so Barnaby's like, the trollop is gonna eat everybody. Mm-hmm. But instead of getting eaten, Drew Barrymore was like, I'll just have him bite the rope. So he bites the rope, and then Drew Barrymore escapes. And then she unties everybody, and then they kind of just, like, escape to the woods. But the Toy Master stays back. Well, actually, first they trap the trollop in, like, a treasure chest.
Oh, yeah, they trap him in, like, some old, like, chest that's empty. Why do you have a chest that big, and it's empty?
In case of a trollop attack comes. But then the Toy Master's like, you need to go to the woods. Like, all your answers are in the woods.
Oh, yeah, so then Georgie, Porgy, and Lisa, like, are trying to go to the woods, and the bear cop tries to stop them, and they're like, no, we're okay, we know what we're doing. And the bear's like, okay, whatever. Then
they go in the woods, then they they step on a spot in the woods. It's basically just like a trap. It's like a trap door.
It's a trap door. It leads to the exact same cell.
Like, someone went through and just, like, carefully planned all these trap doors.
Uh-huh.
That just lead to the same place underneath the bowling ball.
Yeah.
And I don't get, like, it's the same slide that they go down every time. Like, I don't get, like, how, like a trap door, like, a mile away leads to the same place.
I don't either.
But
the gang is back together now. All four of our heroes are reunited.
And Barnaby has, like, the flask of evil, or whatever it's called. And
he releases green smoke.
And so, like, this animated green smoke comes out. All the characters start turning into monsters, except for Drew Barrymore, because she has the power of Cincinnati that prevents her from turning into a monster.
I guess so. I guess because she's not a Mother Goose character or something.
Yeah, so then she realizes if she sings the Cincinnati song from earlier in the show, it saves everybody from turning into a monster.
Yeah.
So then they escape.
How do Jack, Mary, and Georgie Porgy know this song?
Well, it's funny because Drew Barrymore starts singing it, and then she stops. Then Keanu Reeves sings it, and then the other characters sing it. So I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, how the fuck do they know this song? Like, this does not make any sense. And then they just escape. Like, they just, like, this jail they were trapped in, like, the whole movie, or, like, the last, 10 minutes.
Barnaby opens the cell because they pretend to be monsters.
Oh, that's right, okay. And they do this, like...
And then they attack.
It's weird, though, because Barnaby leaves the room during, like, the transformation.
Yeah.
And then nobody stays in the room, but then he comes back for, like... Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, so then they're all, like... They all pretend they're trolls, so, like, they're doing, like, a fake troll walk. They're barely out the jail, and then Drew Barrymore's like, all right, everybody run! But they're still surrounded by the monsters. Mm-hmm. Like, you would have thought they would have at least gotten outside before they pretended to be.
Yeah, and then Jack punches Barnaby, and they, like, skate. They have to, like, swing across this one thing.
Oh, yeah. Like, this is where it's very, like, reminding me of Goonies. All right, so it's
that's kind of where I spaced out for a while.
This is where it got really funny. There's a really funny part right here. All right, so they get to, like, a cliff, and there's, like, a vine, like a pitfall vine. We have to, like, swing across, like, the pit.
Yeah.
And go to the other side. All right, so Keanu Reeves and the girl, the older girl, Mary, go across first. So, like, they both go across together. Keanu Reeves swings back. He grabs Drew Barrymore. And then instead of just going back and getting George, he just swings the rope to George. He's like, you're on your own, George.
It's like, you can do it. You're a hero now.
But George is, like, afraid to swing across for some reason. He just won't do it. And, like, the monsters are closing in. But at, like, the last possible second, he, like, swings across. I was like, what a fucking asshole Keanu Reeves. Like, he wouldn't just, like, swing back and get his friend, like he did for the two chicks.
Yeah, maybe Jack B. Nimble couldn't lift Georgie Porgy.
I was thinking that Georgie Porgy's going to go across and he's going to be too heavy and the vine would break.
It wasn't that far, though. It was, like, honestly, they maybe could have just, like, leaped across.
Not even. It was, like, literally, like, right there. Like, not even a leap. Like, you just step over.
Yeah.
So then they get back to Toyland. And I don't know, like, I feel like, is this the last part of the movie? Because I don't even remember, like, honestly.
We're getting close. This is like, there's this chase scene with Barnaby and his, like, trolls, and there's a car crash, and...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like, I seriously spaced out during this part, because I was like, I don't understand what's going on.
So they all get in those, like, weird cars.
And then they go back to the Toy Master, because, of course, the Toy Master's like, well, to defeat them, you all must believe in the magic of toys, and one of you doesn't. And then Georgie's like, it must be you, Lisa. You're always saying you're not a child.
Yeah, so, alright. So now, let's go back to, like, the whole movie. So, in the very beginning of the movie, Drew Barrymore, who plays Lisa, her sister goes, I got you a surprise for a present. Guess what it is? And she's like, a blender.
Yeah.
So, that was supposed to be, like, a hint that she, like, thought of herself as an adult the whole movie.
I guess so. I just figured she was into cooking.
But then, like, nowhere else in the movie do they ever reference that she, like, doesn't believe in toys, because she's in this weird world and she goes along with it the whole time.
Yeah. But she does make these, like, mentions every so often. I'm not a child.
Well, I mean, she's, like, 11 years old, and everyone calls her, like, Mary's... When she's in the real world, Mary, like, the real Mary from, like, the real world Cincinnati calls her baby sister, and she's like, I'm not a baby.
Yeah.
So, like, that made sense. Like, she's, like, an 11-year-old girl.
Honestly, she's 11. That totally makes sense. Be like, I'm not a child.
But there's, like, weird... Like, I really feel like they didn't, like, make the effort to make it seem like that Drew Barrymore, like, really wanted to be an adult. Like, they should have put more effort into it. Cause,
yeah, I feel like maybe it's in those missing 15 minutes.
Like, there's a very important scene that just never got revealed.
Yeah.
But basically, all that needed to defeat Barnaby for good was that Lisa just would have to believe in toys. All the toys came to life. Basically, the toy soldiers.
Yeah, the toy soldiers. She releases the creepy toy soldiers. And they fight the troll. The toys fight the trolls. The trolls get sent into the forest, and then Jack beats Barnaby and sends him into the forest as well.
And Jack and Mary get married.
Yep, they do.
And then Lisa goes back home on a sled.
With Santa, because the Toy Master is Santa.
Yep, the Toy Master is Santa. We now learn the Toy Master is Santa. They go home. So now, this is the best part.
Bring Lisa home via the Milky Way.
Yeah, via the Milky Way. You get, like, a weird, like, kind of the fakest, like, effect of, like, reindeer flying over through space ever. It looks like they just took, like a toy kit.
They're wooden reindeer.
It's, like, wooden reindeer flying over, like, a fake moon in the background. And then Drew Barrymore / Lisa wakes up on the couch of her home. Her family's relieved that she's still alive. They must have found her in the woods. And she does that, like, Wizard of Oz thing. She's like,
found her and brought her home, and Jack and George are still there.
And she does that Wizard of Oz thing. She's like, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. And the mom was Mrs. Hubbard in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, of course you were there. Now, like, welcome to Christmas.
I need all pest control.
Yeah, like, welcome to Christmas. And then, like, just before you thought, like, none of this really happened, Lisa / Drew Barrymore looks down at the Christmas tree. There's one of those wooden soldiers, and it moves like a person.
Yeah. And it, like,
salutes her.
It was weird.
It salutes her, and then we get end scene.
Yeah.
And then I shut the movie off, and I was like, thank God this is over with.
Yeah, the first, like... I like Keanu in it, but it just was not a good movie.
It's so weird. I don't know. Like, I guess they never released it on DVD, apparently, from what I've learned.
Yeah, I don't think they did. If they did, it's the shortened version.
Okay. But it came out on VHS, and I guess it was really popular.
And it was released in, like, Germany in theaters or something.
But, I don't know, I mean, I guess it's a part of Christmas. I mean, it's Babes in Toyland.
Yeah.
1986 edition. I'm honored that we did this, though. Because it's right...
Okay, so I have some questions for you.
Okay. Shoot.
Do you think NBC could attempt a better remake of this today?
I think they could, to be honest with you, because we would get, like, CGI effects and, like, not, like, weird costumes that look like they were bought from, like, iParty.
Yeah, like, because they did Sound of Music, they did Peter Pan, they're doing The Wiz.
Like, maybe we can get Adele to play Mary.
I think Adele might be a little too old.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, I do have 2 suggestions for casting.
Okay.
Drew Barrymore as the mother,
Oh, that'd be great.
and Keanu Reeves as the toy master.
Oh, Cha, dude.
Mic drop, I'm out. Thank you.
Keanu Reeves would never do that because he's like too busy doing like John Wick or something.
What is he even doing now?
He was just in John Wick, and I guess it's going to be like a franchise now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's kind of like a weird sci-fi action kind of film.
Yeah, see, for me, when I enjoy a Keanu Reeves, it's more towards the rom-com stuff. And his, like, early action. Like, I will watch Speed 5 times in a row. But I won't watch The Matrix. I can't sit through The Matrix again.
Yeah, I think The Matrix is kind of boring, to be honest with you, but you didn't hear that in this podcast.
My ex-boyfriend had, like, 3 copies of all 3 movies.
Oh.
I was like, we don't need this many copies. Can you please get rid of them? He's like, no, I need them.
All right, so coming up in future eps. Next week, we're still in the Christmas spirit. We're gonna do. It's basically a 2-parter.
Yeah, it's a 2-part episode, but we're gonna just do 1 podcast.
We're doing this one because we did Magna PI. We broke it up into 2 parts, and it like got weird. So we're gonna do the Saved by the Bell homeless episode.
Yeah, it's the Homeless for the Holidays.
Is that what it's called?
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
It's 2 parts. You can find it on Netflix, but it's definitely going to be great because it's Saved by the Bell, and I mean, it's Saved by the Bell. Enough said.
I pretty much have my notes done for that one.
Nice. So, join us next week when we enter Christmas for real with Saved by the Bell. And as always, until next time.
Bye!